Success, I think for me, is about fulfillment. I feel successful if I've helped a client with something, gotten them a good result, helped them navigate the system. The money will come later. The money is not success. It's a byproduct of success. If you do a good job, then you'll have clients that will pay you. And so for me, the success is getting a good review, having someone say, Mr. Farris, you really helped me out here. I really appreciate it. You've done everything I asked you to do. I couldn't have done this without you. That's success. If you've got clients that are happy, if you put a client in a better position than when they hired you, then you've succeeded.
Hi guys, my name is Mizrahi. Welcome to another episode of Digital Domination for Lawyers podcast. Today I'm so excited to have my very special guest from the West Coast, Charles Farris of Farris Law Firm. Charles, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Andy. My name's Charles. I'm a criminal defense attorney here in Los Angeles. My office is based in Burbank, California, and I handle cases all over LA County, Ventura, Orange, and the general area over here, the LA metro area.
So give me your background. You're not from LA. Where are you from? How did you get to this point of doing criminal defense law and stuff?
So I grew up in North Carolina. I was there the first 20-something years of my life, born and raised. Came out here to California because my wife is in the entertainment industry, and she brought us out here. I was happy to move to the big city. I grew up in a tobacco town of about 30,000 people for a long, long time. So I got the chance to move out here, and I took it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you first moved in, you were telling me that you weren't always about criminal law. You were trying to do kind of partner up, like, I guess, help your wife navigate a little. I don't know if that. I feel like.
No, you're right. Exactly. I started doing entertainment work. I was really interested in intellectual property when I was in law school. I did copyrights, trademarks, licensing. I worked for a toy company that was on Shark Tank for a little while, doing their IP licensing. I worked for the Screen Actors Guild for a short period of time. I found that the work was interesting, but I wanted to go into court and litigate and do, courtroom work. And I got the opportunity to do a very minor, like a bicycle ticket. Apparently he had, riding on the wrong side of the street or riding on the sidewalk improperly. And a friend of mine said, hey, I don't know anyone that can do this. Can you take this to court and handle it? And I said, yeah, that sounds easy enough. I think I can do it. And it was fantastic. And I never looked back. And I've been doing criminals since then.
So what makes you like it better than like the glamour of the showbiz, and like why is this more aligned in your skill set, or like you said you didn't go to court, like what's something?
Well, the showbiz part of it, the subject matter is interesting. They're like, oh, I'm working for Disney and I'm working for Universal and I'm artists and musicians, and that part is cool. But the actual work that you're doing is very bland. It's all contract review, document review. You might get to do like a negotiation or a mediation or something if something goes wrong, or work on some big deal. But that interest point stops after the meeting, and then you go back to your cubicle and do a bunch of paperwork for 10 hours. So it's very I got disenchanted with it pretty quickly.
Tell me a little bit about like why. So you started doing criminal stuff and the bike thing. Can you tell me a little bit about the bike story?
Yeah, so I had a client, or I should say I had a friend who had a client who got a ticket, but it was misdemeanor. It wasn't just like a traffic ticket. Like in California, you've got infractions, misdemeanors, and felonies in order of seriousness. So an infraction is speeding ticket or noise complaint. If you get, you're having a rowdy party, they'll write you a citation. That's an infraction. It's not very serious. A misdemeanor is like a DUI, a little drug possession, vandalism, that kind of thing. So this was that level. This was a misdemeanor for riding his bike the wrong way on the road, or like riding his bike somewhere he wasn't supposed to. He got pulled over by the cops and he got arrested, which was unbelievable to me. And he said, hey, Charles, can you help me with this? I don't have an attorney that can do this. It's sort of out of our wheelhouse. That we handle really serious stuff. We don't handle these little tickets. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So I went to the LAX courthouse. That's not the one. That's not inside LAX, but it's near LAX. So we call it the LAX courthouse, airport court. And I remember the name. I still remember the name of the DA and the judge. That was my very first criminal appearance, and I got the thing dismissed. My dad did this for like 40 years. He's still doing it, but he did criminal law back where I grew up for like a long, long time. And so I grew up in the courtroom. Every day after school, I'd go to his office or, see him in court. And that's what I wanted to do. That's why I became a lawyer in the first place. So when I got an opportunity to do that, I jumped on it.
Wow, that's so interesting. So like after school, like, you'd go visit your dad in like court and stuff and criminal stuff.
Yeah. Criminal. He does real estate. He did wills and all sorts of things. He did traffic. It's very different practicing in a small town. You have to do a little bit of everything. In LA, you can be a specialist. There's 10 million people here. There's always people that need my particular services.
Right. Very interesting. Wow. Very cool. So, hold on. So, tell me a little bit about like what is I want you to tell me a little bit about California misdemeanor, judicial diversion, how to get case dismissed. Like, tell me stuff like these are some of the things you specialize in. How to get things dismissed, right? That's probably key. Nobody wants to go.
Nobody wants to deal with this. Look, you don't want a case on your record. You don't want to have to deal with, jail time or serious amounts of community labor. When you see people picking up trash on the side of the road with the big spears or like cleaning off graffiti, this is really serious stuff. You don't want it to affect you professionally. If you, in California, past few years, they passed a law. This is Penal Code Section 1001.95, misdemeanor judicial diversion. What this means is if you are charged with a very minor crime and you are suitable, maybe you don't have a lot on your record or anything on your record, you can show it was either a mistake or your remorse, it wasn't a very serious thing. You can get placed on diversion by the judge, which means go do a class, go do community service, stay out of trouble, and then they will dismiss and seal your case. So it can no longer be used against you. It can't show up on background checks. And you're allowed to say by law, no, I never had a case. No, I never got arrested.
Interesting.
That's the strength of it. Yeah, that's why people do it.
Wow. Interesting. So tell me a little bit about the importance of like a local criminal defense lawyer, versus like a large firm. People always think like you said, like big law movies and like law shows, giant firm suits and stuff. What's the difference between that and like what something like you would do?
So when people ask, oh, is it like Suits or is it like Partner Track on Netflix, stuff like that, I say don't watch those shows for accuracy. They're fun, but really what you want to do is you want to watch The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix. You got one attorney, two paralegals, an investigator. That's how criminal practice is. It's all small offices. It's all local guys. Those are the guys that can help you the most. If you go with some of these larger firms that have popped up the last few years, it's not that they're bad attorneys, but they're taking cases all over the state sometimes. They don't have any relationships with the judge or the prosecutor in that particular courtroom. I mean, I'm one block from the Burbank courthouse. I know all the judges. I know all the DAs or city attorneys in that building. I know the clerks by first name. I know the bailiffs. They know who I am. And so They take you seriously when you come in and you have an offer that you want to pitch to them to get your client a deal. They know that you're not messing around. And they know there's no gamesmanship, because if I do something unethical, or if I do something sort of a jerk move, I'm going to have to see him again tomorrow. There's no reason to do that. Some of the attorneys can get away with, doing something that's a little bit more aggressive because they know that they're not going to see this person again, perhaps, or they're not going to be in this courtroom again for a while. And that's not good for your client.
Right.
Because they won't take you seriously.
This is very interesting. So it's kind of like you're taking your small town approach, right? And applying to the big town.
Yeah. Look, Los Angeles County has about 30 courthouses, and I think more than half of those have criminal departments. So that means, it's 10 million people. There's a lot of different regions in the county where you have criminal cases. And so if you know the area and you know the judges and the prosecutors, you can do very well. Whereas I might, for instance, if I were to be sent a case down in Long Beach, I don't think I've been inside the Long Beach courthouse in a couple of years. Because of all the cross-pollination, all the transfers, I might still know someone in that building, but It's just not. It's not my area. I don't go there. I have a friend who lives in Long Beach, and he does all of his cases in Long Beach and Downey and the sort of South LA area. He'd be a better choice, I think.
Interesting. So it's really about like to your benefit and to anybody in like say the town's benefit, like Burbank, to just use a lawyer who's in the water there, right?
That's my belief. That's how I do business, and that's what I believe is the best option. Some of these attorneys, look, some of them are excellent attorneys. I know a few that do cases all over Southern California,
right.
But really what you're paying for is their experience, their many, many years of experience where they know, and they may not know the like procedure inside the courtroom if they're going someplace they've not been before. But you could also hire one of these larger firms that take cases all over the state. When I worked for one of those firms years ago, I was in a different courtroom every day. I was driving all over the state. I think I had 80 or 90 cases, some of them very serious, and I was never in the same courtroom, never in front of the same judge twice.
Wow.
That can't be. That's not the way to practice this. In some fields, you have to. In some of these like litigation firms, these civil litigation firms, many times you don't really go to court. They do status conferences, but you're aiming towards settlement.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter if you know, there's no prosecutor. It doesn't matter if you know the judge as much. It's probably good to be familiar with them, but it doesn't matter. In criminal court, I'm in court every day in one of the courtrooms that I know very well, and that's where I do my work.
Beautiful. Love it. Very interesting. It makes me think, just quick segue. I'm thinking about like, because you're so local, you could really like be the king of that, town for this kind of stuff. And people need to know that is so valuable. And maybe they don't understand that. Like,
that's my whole business model, and I've seen it work for other attorneys. Like I said, there's a lot of courthouses, there's a lot of places here, and I think some of the more successful attorneys that I've met have really tried to focus in on either a type of case or a geographical area that they can serve better.
Wow, it's really about, as a lawyer, I think the key is you have to get things done very fast, right? People want speed; they don't want like hours. So by you being familiar with this specific universe, you can answer questions faster. You know the players, you know the whole town, you know how the judge thinks and the prosecutor wants to hear, and you're like, okay, no, this is the prosecutor likes this thing and this buzzword and this judge, right? Stuff like that.
Yes, and look, if you're a good attorney, you can figure it out, right? You go to a new courtroom, you go to a new courthouse, you can muddle through it, but that doesn't instill a lot of confidence, in you from your clients. And it'd be, if they see you sort of waddling around and like trying to figure things out, it's like, oh, I'm here at 9 and the judge started at 8:30, or I got here right at 8:30, but this judge doesn't actually get started until 9:30, and it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know the procedure in the courtroom, every courtroom's different. Do you stand, or do you sit at the counsel table, or is there a podium that you're supposed to stand at? Are you supposed to talk to the DA, early, or does the DA not get there until 9 or 9:30? Like, am I supposed to have already emailed back and forth with the DA, or do I just do the business here in the courtroom? There's all these different sort of standards and customs in every single courthouse and every single courtroom that are different. And if you have someone that doesn't know that, I don't think you're going to be as effective.
Yeah. It's kind of like in sports, like you want home court advantage. You don't play away games.
I'd prefer not to. The good news is in Los Angeles, there are some standards in every courtroom. Like I said, it's no big deal for me to go to a place in Los Angeles that is different from where I usually am. But if I were to go to San Bernardino County, Kern County, I don't know anything about those courtrooms. I don't know what they like. I don't know what their schedule is. I don't know how anything works. And I'm licensed. I can do it. I can show up and figure it out. But that's not the best for the client.
Right. You don't want to have those road games. You want to.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right. Tell me about background checks and the need to expunge and seal your old criminal record.
What I get a lot of clients a lot of clients come into the office looking for expungement or seal of arrest. This is when you have something in your past, and if you do a background check or you check your criminal record or you do a live scan or something, these things will pop up. And it's, oh, I got a DUI 20 years ago. Oh, I got, a vandalism when I was mad at my girlfriend and threw her phone across the room. I got that, and now it's stuck on my record. And I go to get a new job, or I do, apply for college or something that requires a background check. The biggest thing I see are actually people that have already been in a job for a long time, but then they want to become a partner or become a business owner or become some sort of promotion. They get a promotion and they run another background check. And they said, I didn't expect to need that. They're going to run a background check and see this old case, and they're going to deny me or decline my promotion or something. And they're terrified of this. And so we have to work pretty quickly to get that off your record. But we can.
How does that work? What are things that we should know about, like when people are approaching this?
The main thing is, as long as you did a good job on probation, or if you served a little bit of jail time, that's okay. If you went to prison for something really serious, I usually can't get rid of it. But that's not most people. Most people, if they have anything, it's an old DUI. It's an old drug possession from when you were, in college and experimented a little bit with some drugs, got caught by the police, and now it's stuck on your record. Hit and run, you panic, you get in an accident and you don't stop, and then they arrest you for hit and run, and that stays on your record. That's what we call that a crime of moral turpitude. It is a sort of like fraud or theft. It's something where there's some sort of bad, trickery or something. That they may not be very serious offenses, but if there's a crime or an offense involving moral turpitude, that could stop you from getting certain positions or stop you from certain government jobs or things like that.
So say someone got a DUI 20 years ago. What now?
They hire us. We do a detailed background check. We find the case number, find where it's filed, or where it lives, which courthouse, which courtroom, which judge is assigned. We file out a detailed petition. We do an interview with you to get a declaration from you about what your life is like now and what you did back then, and sort of, give some color to it for the judge to review. And then we file it. And then sometimes we do a hearing in front of the judge to determine if we can get this removed off your record. Many times the judge will simply approve it or deny it. Sometimes the judge will want to do a hearing where you have to go in person and talk about it. And so we handle all of this from A to Z.
Wow. Here's a question. I think most people probably don't even know that's possible.
In California, every state's a little bit different, but in California, we have very strong expungement and sealing laws, to the point which I mentioned earlier, which is if you get something expunged or sealed, you're actually allowed to, by law, say it never happened. On the job application where it says, have you been convicted of a crime, you can write no once you get it expunged.
But I'm saying, I would assume it's not common knowledge that a person can expunge something like this.
I agree. I tell people every chance I get, because most people don't understand. They think it either drops off after a certain number of years, which it does not. It will not go away unless you make it go away.
Wow.
Or they assume that it can't be erased at all.
Wow.
But you can, and you should.
Wow. I'm just writing notes down about that because I think it's so fascinating.
We send out little coupon mailers, like on Valpak or something, little postcards to let people know about this, and we get calls every week in the office saying, "I didn't know you could do that. Can I hire you to do it for us?" Yeah,
like shooting fish in a barrel. Wow, interesting. Does that have anything? Does that tie into the Burbank localism of that? Or not really. I guess
so the expungements, we can do an expungement anywhere. It's state law. I don't take cases outside of the LA metro area for this. I don't take cases up in Northern California or even down in San Diego for this. I'll refer those to someone who's local. But yeah, anywhere in LA, you do this practice mostly by mail and fax. And then if I have to show up for a hearing, I can do that. But usually I can expunge something anywhere in LA or Ventura or Orange pretty systematically, pretty mechanically. It doesn't have to be just in my local area.
And you do it fast because it needs to be a quick thing.
Yeah, the fastest you're going to get is going to still be a few weeks to a month or two. The courts are very backlogged with these requests, but the sooner you start, the sooner we can get it done.
Cool.
We can usually have it filed within a couple of days of you hiring us.
Brilliant. Okay. Okay. So you mentioned that one of the ways you've used to grow is you send out these, I guess, mailers to people.
We've tried a little bit of everything, but yeah, for this particular type, I don't think this is difficult, right? Because I don't think I would hire a criminal defense attorney based on a coupon you get in the mail. I don't think I would do that. I don't think most people would do that. But we're offering a sort of a transactional service. Clear up your record, right? That catches people's eye when they go through the coupons or they go through their mails. Oh, now if you don't have anything on your record, you throw that away. But everybody's got a cousin with a DUI, that brother that was a little rowdy, their neighbor that they know has, some problems in their past. So it has taken hold with people all over the northern part of the county, especially, to get this done for them.
Wow, very interesting. So that's that. What anything else has worked for you, like marketing wise? That like, just so I like the idea that you're saying that it's very transactional. As a lawyer, people thinking always like, oh, I gotta sell like my service, my hours. But you're thinking, as a lawyer, other lawyers can learn from this and say, what is this small transactional thing I could sell you that you could walk away with?
Yes, and we do flat fee billing at Farris Law Firm. A lot of smaller firms, or even the larger firms, do this for criminal defense matters because we know exactly how long something's going to take on average. We know how many hours it's going to take. We know what costs and what kind of time estimates. So we can price it out pretty fairly and pretty easily and give you a flat fee. There's no hourly billing. You're not going to be paying an attorney $500 an hour to deal with this. Like, we just give you like a flat fee of however many $1,000 it takes or $100 it takes. You pay us and we do it, and that's it. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy. Keeping law simple. That's the name of the game. This difficult stuff that people write, the paperwork and the lawyers, like it's like a whole lift line.
Yeah, I mean, it gets very overwhelming for people, and you need an attorney. And I've met attorneys that don't have, I guess I would say, good bedside manner. They just don't know how to talk to normal people, to lay people about the document they got in the mail or the process in court. And clients, especially ones that I represent that have never been in trouble before in their life, don't know what's going on. They don't know what the different types of court dates are. They don't know if they're supposed to show up or not. They don't know if they need to send a letter to the judge. Obviously, don't do that. Anyone listening, don't send a letter directly to the prosecutor or the judge. But they think that they need to for some reason, or they think they're supposed to. There's just a lot of not even misinformation, just lack of information.
That's true. Law is a very specific thing with, I guess, a lot of old rules also, right?
Yes. That's why we go to school for so many years to figure it out, because people would say, oh, why can't you simplify it? And the problem is that some of these terms, some of these procedures we use, while the language might be very flourishy and you say, oh, it's all written in legalese, but every single one of those words has a really specific meaning. It matters what words we use in these documents, and it matters what we ask the judge for. There may not be a simpler way to do some of this, because every word that we use has really important meaning for the legal proceedings that we're in.
Awesome. Love it. It's that's why we have lawyers. That's why you guys are specialists in this stuff. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So as we start to wrap up, how can people find out more about you guys, Farris Law Firm?
You can go to farrisfirm.com. That's FARRIS firm.com. You'll see a picture of myself and my lovely wife, who is our accounts manager and financial officer. We work together on the firm, and we do, we do as best as we can for our clients, and most people are very happy with our services. So we're happy to give you a free consultation for any of these kind of matters: criminal defense, traffic, expungement, seal of arrest, post-conviction relief work. You can fill out our contact form, or you can call us. We have staff available most hours of the day to answer your call.
Love it. Anything exciting coming up in the future that you'd like to share with us?
We're excited every day. We just launched in July, so it's never a boring moment here at Farris Law Firm. But as we continue to grow, we hope to open another office towards Simi Valley or Ventura area. That's the county to the west of Los Angeles, where I do a lot of work. Also, we may bring on more staff, but yeah, it's been a good 8 months so far with the solo practice. We received an award from the Lawyers of Distinction committee. I've got a nice plaque in my office for that. We've got the AVO Client's Choice Award, both for 2024 and 2025. We do a lot of work with Google local service ads as one of their top-rated defense attorneys in the area.
Nice.
So we do our best to service our clients.
Crushing it, man. Crushing it. Love it. Okay. Last question is, how do you define success? Professionally, personal, spiritually? I don't know. What does success look like for you?
Success, I think, for me is about fulfillment. I feel successful if I've helped a client with something, gotten them a good result, helped them navigate the system. The money will come later. The money is not success. It's a byproduct of success. If you do a good job, then you'll have clients that will pay you. And so for me, the success is getting a good review, having someone say, Mr. Farris, you really helped me out here. I really appreciate it. You've done everything I asked you to do. I couldn't have done this without you. That's success. If you've got clients that are happy, if you put a client in a better position than when they hired you, then you've succeeded.
Excellent. Love it. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's our time. Charles, I'm gonna pause. We're gonna continue after this call. I'm gonna end our podcast. Charles, thank you again for jumping on with us. This is Charles Farris of Farris Law Firm. Thank you so much, and we're wishing you all success in all that you do.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.